Welcome everybody back to Rivalz Racetrack. Clinton, Geoffrey, and Adam Ross here as we get ready to jump back into it. It's been seems like forever since we've been on the air on a Tuesday night. Adam, welcome back here. A lot's happened. A lot is going to happen this weekend as we wrap down the season. I'm at my home office. You are away in New York visiting Aunt Dottie, who we send our best wishes to, who is a longtime race fan, and as you said, a tough gal, and we wish you all the best. And I think you're a great nephew for making the drive down to see her, and you're going to be happy you did.
Yep. I wouldn't miss it. So, right. I still maintain, Clinton, record the 45 seconds that take place before our shows every week. It is the most condensed 45 seconds of conversation, right? Like it really is. Because you don't have time for pleasantries. Like, okay, this is going down. This is going down. This is going to be great for us. This is going to be good for them. This is how we're going to make this happen. Countdown is on. Let's get to the show.
Spencer, are we on? Because my dad just walked in the room. He's like, "Are you guys on?" But we're on, right? I think we are. He's just a minute behind. He'll catch up. We have an action-packed show tonight. A lot of the recent winners are going to join us here, Adam, featuring, if you look at the rundown along the side there, Mike Bowman, Ryan Turner, Garrett Timirisma, Lane Zardo, and Jared Fitzpatrick, who all have current event stories going on. Most recently, Mike Bowman sweeping the weekend at Oshwegan. We also have our quick wit, quit wit trivia, which we can throw up on the screen now. The question for this week is, in 2022 at Oshwegan Speedway, which has completed our 25th season, who won the most sprint car races in 2022? If you know the answer, fill it out there in the message board. We'll take a winner from Facebook and YouTube. And if you've not been a winner this year, let us know. And we'd love to get you a Quick Wick t-shirt from our friends at Quick Wick. Anything you want to add, Adam, before we jump right into our first guest who's already on the line?
Not really. I thought it was a great weekend. Of course, the Sprint Car Nationals is an event that we have been waiting for since 2019. I know we had two other Canadian Sprint Car Nationals this year, but this is the only one that's held on the traditional date in September. And I thought it was phenomenal. And it was short on cars, Clinton, probably by, what would you say, 20 to 30 entries from the U.S. who didn't make it up. But
at least
we had enough elite entries from the U.S. We had Jordan Poirier, we had Chuck Hebing. We had enough people to know, Jordan Thomas, that our best versus their best was the best you could get, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were low on car counts and we wanted to be. And the first thing we said in the drives meeting is thank you to the American teams that did make the effort to fill the paperwork out and come to the Nationals. It's big for us that we have the American contingent come over because it does make it a prestigious event, and we appreciate that. I thought the racing was amazing. The track was as good as it always is. And to have the first Canadian Crate Nationals as part of the weekend too was it's a big step, and it's a lot bigger than a lot of people may realize in just around here what it means. Yes, it's cool for our crate guys to have their own race and get the same format and have a pole dash and the exact same situation the 360s do for what's a little less than half the purse, but next year it's going to be exactly half the purse. So that's our mission, to push it to 500 to start on the Friday and $5,000 to win, which would be exactly half of the 360s. But what that means, Adam, across the board in the East is big. I mean, Brockville, Can-Am, they have a lot of teams down there that are sitting on the fence wondering, is this crate thing worth the jump in or not? And our first guest, Mike Bowman, maybe be a good spokesperson to say why it would be a good jump for a modified guy to get in there. But Henry and the folks at Brockville, they're kind of looking to us to help them pull these guys across that fence. And I think paying events with good coverage like we provided and continuing to build this tour is going to help them get there. And I'll let you comment on that while Spencer brings in our first guest, Mike Bowman. Adam, what's your thoughts on that?
I think the recipe is there, and with no offense to Mike Bowman, we already had some people coming to play in the sandbox. So when you get a Mike Bowman, let's say a John Cadman who comes from super late models, when we get talent from other forms of racing into that division, it doesn't add credibility. It continues to add credibility and add to the interest of the story. Because Mike Bowman, I don't know, do you appreciate that the talent that you're racing with when you go crate sprint car racing. And I think that you probably do with your background in go-karting, because a lot of these kids you race with, they might have been a generation behind you, but they cut their teeth doing the same things that you did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not racing against anybody really other than Stratford that I raced go-karts with, but that is the interesting thing about this division, is that it seems like there is more of the, the families, and maybe you're saying, a generation behind me that I knew in the asphalt go-kart scene before I went dirt that are into this crate deal now. And you guys mentioned John. I'm at the shop now, just sitting in the trailer. John's in the shop here, already working on that car. Yeah, he crashed it, but he was just so stoked to be a part of a race with 40 plus entries. He said it's been decades, probably since he raced the Snowball Derby, that he's competed against that many other teams.
Yeah, I think in having guys like John come over is the biggest thing that we've been able to do with that class. Is, it's been good for us because we didn't have to poach our own divisions to build the class. It's been a lot of outside new people. That's the biggest success of the crates, I think, on the dirt, Adam, is it's brought so many asphalt people to the dirt to give sprint cars a try, which would be, let's face it, both you guys, 15 years ago, nobody on asphalt would ever balls up and go dirt racing on a sprint car. Adam?
No, it just wasn't the thing to do. And it's interesting to talk to Mike Bowman, because I know Mike has looked at other forms of racing, other divisions, whether it was dirt, whether it was asphalt, to see, hey, where's the best bang for my buck? What do I want to look at? What are the costs of doing this and that? And correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I think you've landed in a good spot. You found what right now is the hot spot, not just this year, but I think it's going to stay that way for the foreseeable future.
No, I agree with that 100%. The buzz you get from people even asking questions, I agree with that 100%.
Not sure what's up there.
Got some funny feedback going on. Unless someone had the show open.
Try it now, Mike. Spencer says, give it a shot now. We might have been able to fix that.
Check,
Mike.
check.
Yeah, we got you.
All right. I just saying, the amount of questions I get from other drivers, other car owners, just, the buzz in general is good. People are interested. It's a pretty inexpensive way to go racing. I think the cost of it is in check. 360 is obviously a big investment. The dirt modified stuff is a big investment. So I just think it checks a lot of boxes, and obviously is appealing to even the asphalt guys.
Mike, let's talk about your weekend. Able to go out and sweep the weekend again. That was a big deal for you. A good paying weekend. Talk about, just your experience and the 2 nights putting it all together.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we get to come up and race for you guys, it's enjoyable. The facility is just second to none. Nicest place I've ever raced, and it was good. Friday, when we took the green in the A main, car fired right away. I knew I had something pretty potent, and I kind of got to Dryden, got by him, and then the yellow came out, and then got going again, got by him, the yellow came out again. So it was fairly frustrating at that point, because I showed him where I was strong a couple times, and he got a chance there to make some adjustments. But we had a really good piece, and thankfully we were able to get it done. So fast forward to Saturday, I go to pill draw and I draw 100. So we had to roll off 10th, and fortunately I got up on the wheel there, and we had a pretty good heat, and got to the front. Bardier had a sideboard fall off his front wing, so we were able to win the heat from 10th, which was unexpected. But feature time, dropped like a rock. John flipped. I'm sitting there under red. Like, how do we screw this race car up this bad? But just kept at it, and I couldn't believe Jacob was coming back to me as fast as he was there with 4 to go, and was able to roll the middle and get by. And that was probably the most profitable pass in my career.
You took home a little bit of money, which is fabulous. That's what it's up there for. You know, last year we're talking about who's going to be able to beat Jacob Dykstra. This year, Mike Bowman, you're the flavor of the week. What's exciting is every time we move forward, we've also got sort of homegrown talent. People like Darren Dryden, Alan Downey, who has his moment. Like, there's so many different names at so many different times moving up to compete. So it's exciting for us. But just my last question, Mike, and I think we might have asked you this before. What makes modified racers, what makes a good modified racer so good in a sprint car?
I'd have to say, like, the modified is a beast. It's 2,400 pounds. It's the small blocks are 600 horsepower. The big blocks are 840. So it is a big beast of a car to wheel. And when you cut your teeth wheeling a car that weighs 800 pounds more than a sprint car, I don't know. I feel like the sprint car maybe just needs a little less from you when everything's right. Mikey talks about it all the time. He always says these things want to operate when they're right, and it's so true. A couple times in hot laps or time trials at Ashwegan, when we've just been able to run around there wide open, like there's seriously very little steering input just when everything's right. So that's probably the best way I could maybe answer that. So.
Mike, what is the plan? I kind of put you on the spot in Victory Lane Saturday. Said the plan is to go 360, and you kind of threw it right back at me and said, "Is it the plan?" What is the plan, Mike? Like, I know you've been fishing around, and you would like to get in a 360 at least to test it out. But what is the goal here with sprint cars?
I don't have a plan really. Maintain the status quo for now. If an opportunity comes up, to buy a piece at the right price, then I would obviously consider that. But we have a good time racing the crate sprint. We enjoy the people we're racing against, and I think maybe next year we just chase the Action Sprint Tour for a championship. Our modified program has been really dialed back this year with the changes at Humberstone, and there was some pretty adverse track conditions at Ransomville where I couldn't see where I was going a couple nights, so that was enough of that for me. And unfortunately, things we had to pivot and refocus this year a little bit. But yeah, next year, I don't know. We'll see what the winter brings. But yeah, like I say, the right opportunity pops up on a decent 360. I'll probably take a serious consideration towards that.
All right, Mike. Thanks for being with us.
Okay.
We'll be
thanks, guys.
I'm sure we'll be talking through the off season. Great job on the weekend.
Okay. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Clint.
See you, Mike. Great deal for Mike to come out, and another big thing around here, Adam, to have a guy from the outside come in and win, and I think that's going to show a lot of the other modified sportsman type teams that it can be done. So they're going to work on making that happen. We got a line of guests in the queue, and Ryan Turner's up next.
I'm not gonna lie though, Clinton. I prefer what we saw in the 360s. I'd love to see a different winner on each night. And Mike Bowman, in fairness, probably shouldn't have won Saturday night. Like, he just didn't have the best race, but he seized the opportunity when it counted. In the 360s, I thought we had the best storyline when Jordan Thomas comes in and wins Friday night, and then Saturday when the accolades are on the line. But by and large, it's the same program over again. But this time, our very own Ryan Turner takes the win and takes home the money. I just thought phenomenal storyline, spreads the wealth around. home track boy win, someone who's been through a lot this season, and that's pretty badass stuff. Ryan Turner, let's welcome him to the program.
For having me, guys.
Welcome, Ryan. First off, if you had to sum up your season in a couple words, what would it have been?
In the end, it was a great season. We were fast with two teams. And even the fact that we left a very potent team and joined another, just as potent, if not even better, and we're still at that same point. To go out with a bang at Oswego, that's massive. Coming into this season, Oswego was probably one of my worst tracks, and I felt like I really changed this year. And even in the 15 car, the last couple of weeks, I think we've been, if not the car to beat, almost every night. And that really helps. Ending a year off on that kind of foot. I know we're not over yet, but just taking that in stride, it was a great season overall.
Ryan, what changed? What was different this year at Oswego that put you in the winner's circle?
Homework, doing your homework. It's funny. I go to work and I work an office job and I do analytics every day. And, I applied that to racing, whether that's driving the car or even setting it up. It's all taking notes and getting better at it and learning what it did to the car that night and what it can do to the car the next night. The track's always changing. Just speaking to the Nationals, we have a different track every time at the Nationals. And I think it's the 3 wheel pack laps that changes everything big time compared to a regular Friday night.
How so does it change it, Ryan? It makes it, smoother, slicker. What's the end result that makes it better?
It makes it smoother. Track doesn't break up as much. Like, you don't have that dust across the track like you could some nights. It seems to hard pack sometimes like a cushion in spots, right? I used that to my advantage in the first Nationals. There was kind of a cushion in coming out of 2 there that I would slide up to. And then even it seems like since we do the wheel pack laps, people kind of go to the bottom and the top. And I used the middle of 2 to my advantage in the last Nationals. So you just got to kind of watch it. It just changes everything night to night.
Ryan,
what's the difference between?
Go ahead.
All right. What's been the difference between racing with a teammate like Liam Martin compared to racing with family members? Like, do you drive each other a little bit harder, or do you work better together, or is it more motivating to you? What's the difference?
To be honest, I always try to drive everyone the same. How you drive someone is, how you expect to get drove back by them, right? So if you're going to go drive over somebody, they're probably going to drive over you in the next corner. So it's just, you got to, kind of treat people the same on how you want to be treated, because you never know what position you'll be in one night. Liam Martin has a totally different driving style than myself. I need to learn from him when it's hammered down and tacky. He puts on a show and usually pulls away from me. But when it gets smooth and slick, that's kind of my nature. That's my little more my forte, keeping the wheels straight, keeping the car underneath you, and just slowly putting the pedal to the floor.
My question, Ryan, was going to be, what's the biggest difference driving between the 2 cars and the 2 teams? What's the biggest adjustment you've had to make there?
So like at Burger Barn, a lot of it was done through crew and myself on working on the car. With Nitro 54, obviously we have Brandon Van Every. He's our crew chief. Biggest thing I think was us connecting. Starting to understand each other, starting to learn. For Brandon to kind of learn what I like, and just working with each other and figuring that out. And in the last 3 weeks, we kind of really woke up, and I think that was, I was telling them on Saturday night after we won, and I think that was, we finally put all the cards on the table and, started to trust each other and really started to work with each other. And, we compromise, right? So before the feature on Saturday night, he wanted to make one change, I wanted to make one, and we both did it, and it seemed to dial the car right in. And we're just kind of working that way at every track we go to. We start out kind of, we talk about the setup we want to start at the night, and then we just work from there. We just keep tweaking things little by little. I'm probably not at the shop as much now. Brandon, I think he's at the shop right now working on the car, probably putting the engine back together after getting tore apart. So he does a lot more of the work on it, where the car's kind of more ready when I show up to the track from him.
What are your thoughts on your season next year? So it's already been announced you'll be back behind the wheel racing with that team, Liam Martin as your teammate. Now there's plans to go racing in the winter, to head down to Florida. What's your magic number of events you'd like to run in 2023?
So as everyone knows, my life's going to change here a little bit in, guessing around February with twins coming. So they're looking to start in Florida. Obviously, that's still up in the air for myself. I believe the car will be there, but we're going to, have to talk through that one. I'm hoping to, I haven't totally counted out, but, I'd be happy with at least 40, getting around and traveling a bit more. And I don't think our season's totally done after Humberstone here either. So we might do a little bit of traveling there as well, just to keep us sharp. Obviously, the more times you hit the track and the more you get on it, the better off you are. Dan loves to go race, and he's gonna take us racing. So it'll be the 9 and the 15 traveling a little bit, when we can, obviously, and hopefully go and continue to learn and continue to get more knowledge. Obviously, we'll be at the Big O battling for a championship, but the more knowledge we can get from other tracks, it's great.
Right on, Ryan. Thanks for being with us here tonight. Congratulations on your big win and a great season at Oshweekend, and good luck in the upcoming races for the finish here in the season.
Thank you, Clint. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Adam.
Cheers. What a
Ryan
story.
Turner came out and dominated the year. One thing we didn't get into with Ryan today, because we got to move on, because Garrett and Lane and JR, they're all going to be in the queue here, was, Travis Cunningham posted today that his wife, Jenna, is Travis's choice for crew chief of the year, and he wasn't even making a joke about it. So I wanted to get into that with Ryan about what Jenna meant to the team, but we'll be talking to him again.
Yep.
Let's jump into our very own G-Force Media darling, Garrett Timirisma, who's jumping on the show here. Garrett has been, if you're new to our deal, which if you're hanging out with us on Tuesday, you know who Garrett is. Garrett's done the vlog with us, and he's done a great job, recently crowned champion at Sunset. And Garrett, I was editing some video for this upcoming deal at the Fall Brawl at Delaware. As we transition to Garrett, I guess we should say this is a lead into the big weekend coming up at Delaware, which we're super proud to be announcing that we will have a video screen on premises. So replays and everything will be shown to the video, to the live crowd, and all the features we're going to be having with our fast, steady, and quick driver features and rapid fire. So super pumped about that. Garrett is on the show. Garrett, one of the things you said is, Adam asked you in your preseason interview, what were the goals? And you said, to win the championship, most checkered flags, and the Sunset Championship. Well, you're on your way to doing those things. You've grabbed the Sunset Championship. You've grabbed a bunch of checkered flags. You're 1 point up coming into the finals here. What's going on, man?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on the show, guys. Appreciate it. I don't know, man. I'm pretty nervous. It's been a great year, and I know Adam did say that I was going for the championship and I wanted this championship and most checkered flags. That was me being a little ambitious, but I just really wanted to go out and have a lot of fun this year, and winning is a lot of fun for me. So it's kind of why I say that I'm having a lot of fun. But this weekend, it's a big weekend. We got, like you say, 1 point lead over Lane. It's going to be coming up next. But I don't know. I kind of think we're the underdog right now. Our Delaware program is not as strong as the other three contenders, so we got some work to do.
And I would not limit your contenders to 3. I would go all the way down to Ryan Dyson, who comes in. In fact, let's go to Carson Nagy, 12 points back in 8th spot. So you go into this weekend, yeah, you're the points leader. Sean Chenoweth, Lane Zardo, Pete Vanderwist, Trevor Culver, Jason Parker, Ryan Dyson, and Carson Nagy. All of those drivers have, a legitimate shot. Garrett, who's the favorite going in? In your opinion, you go in with a 1-point lead. Who is the favorite going into this weekend? Who has the least pressure on them and who has the most?
I got to say, right now, if I had to pick, I'd pick Pete. And that's not because the others aren't just good enough to win. It's that Pete's been on a tear at Delaware Speedway, and he missed out on that championship last week at Delaware. And I feel he's going to be extra hungry to get this one Friday for the Quick Lick Series.
Garrett,
who's got the least amount of pressure?
Least amount of pressure? You could say Carson Nagy, Ryan Dyson. I mean, all they got to do is go out and win. There's nothing else they can try to do except go and win, gain as many points as they can, lead the most laps, and hope that we all get collected in something and finish outside the top 10. But there's no pressure on them to beat anyone else. They just have to beat everybody.
Garrett, I think I've seen you have your toughest day yet since we've been around at Peterborough. And then you come back to be leading here going into the last deal. I mean, I think we all probably thought it was over back then. Did you think it was over for you back then?
Ah, man, I definitely had a hard time convincing myself it wasn't over, especially because Adam's call of the crash, where you say is that the moment that ruined Garrett Timirisma's season. I heard that. I'm like, man, that can't be the end of it. No way. We have to do everything that we can. And going into sunset, I mean, I definitely expected to go out and try to win, lead a lot of laps, especially with a lot of the good position to start. But I didn't expect everyone else to have as bad of a day as they did. And to come out with the points lead, I mean, that was nowhere in my brain. We were 18 points back with 3 races to go. And now we're 1 ahead with 1 to go. So huge recovery.
How long are you going to be a super stock racer for, Garrett? Like, is this something that you guys have dug your heels in, and it's going to? Have you got opportunities? Have you talked to people about moving elsewhere? Or are you happy?
That's I can't pretend that conversation hasn't happened. I mean, in my head, I say if I'm not in a super stock, it's going to be in a pro late model, and I don't know. I can't really say because right now my focus is more on Friday than anything. And as much as I'd love to say, oh, yes, we are, or, no, we aren't, Friday is pretty important to us, and we want to try and do our best. And that's definitely not something we haven't talked about. It's definitely under consideration, and it's not out of reach for us. So I think we just kind of want to wait until after this whole championship comes together to really make a decision of where we go.
Right on, Garrett. Well, we want to wish you the best of luck coming in this weekend. We're excited to see you if you can make this happen. The battle for 2 seasons between you and Zardo have been epic. Lane's coming on here now, so we'll get his side of the story and see what he's got to say as we get ready for what's a great weekend. But you've been a great, as I called it, the media darling earlier, but you've been a great ambassador for the sport, across all levels. What would you say in parting ways here to help the folks at Delaware sell some tickets? Why should fans come out and witness what's going on there this weekend?
You got to come out Friday night because you're going to see the future generation of racing in Ontario and Canada. I mean, the best of the best are coming up. The average age of the top 5, I think, is less than 30. This is the future, and you don't want to miss it because we have 5 drivers here that can win a championship, and one mistake could end it all.
Wow. Go to commercial. Great job, Garrett. Good luck from all of us here at G-Force. Best of luck.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. We'll see you Friday, and maybe I'm stopping by to talk to you on Saturday too. But first, we got to get through Friday.
Sounds good, man.
Now let's bring in his rival going into the weekend. Lane Zardo will join us next, and we'll get to Lane in just a minute, Adam. But how cool is that?
Garrett, the fun thing, so with the super stocks, very, very rarely does someone come and ask to be part of what we're doing at G-Force. The racers are the racers. We do what we do. But we have been lucky that Garrett was in. He knows what his strengths are, and he's got a great strength on camera. But not only does Garrett, but his assist, Lane Zardo, same thing. He wants to come on and do some stuff with us here at G-Force. And I don't think we realize how fortunate we are, because here's a couple of guys like, look at this guy. Let's get him on. Get Lane on here. I mean, he's part Elvis Presley, part Richard Petty. I mean, but he's just like, he's got that rock star kind of swagger. We got Tom Cruise and Garrett Timirisma, but here's kind of the Eddie and the Cruisers over here and Lane Zardo. It's just the stories write themselves, and we're lucky. Lane, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, you guys got me?
Got
you,
you.
bud.
Perfect.
Lane, let's talk about the weekend coming up. Big weekend for you. Last year you were able to lock it up at Delaware and kind of cruise into Saturday's APC race as the champ. Looking cool, calm, and collected into it. Let's talk about what you've got going on now. You've got so much other stuff going down the pipe. This weekend, getting your grandpa ready to race. Can you concentrate on the job at hand for yourself?
Yeah, I think we can. I just had to leave my grandfather's shop, working on his car right now. And I don't know, with my grandfather racing this year, it's so cool. Like, I will never be able to go dime for dime for what he's done for me and my brother the last 20 years. But just knowing I'm able to help him get back out there and seeing how much he enjoys it right now, it's a hell of a feeling to get back to the guy that's giving you everything,
Lane, going to Delaware Way, 8 drivers basically who could win the championship. Half of them, is it fair to say half of them have a lot more experience at Delaware Speedway than you do?
Yeah, we've tried to get out there as much as possible in the last 2 years. Delaware was a pretty new track for me last year, and it's a weird track, but it's the funnest track, the most interesting track, and the most challenging track. You got the concrete, the flat corners, both ends are completely different. Corner 1 and 2 is pretty much the same every single lap, but 3 and 4, every time I've been there, it's been a different line for how fast you are. And it's such a weird track. Like, you float the corner. There's no grip with the concrete, which kind of saves your tires. But I don't know, man. The first time I took a green flag there when they went 3 and 4, it almost looked like I was at Oshwegan. Everybody just kind of panned out and did their own thing. So experience does play a lot, but I think it's just whoever can figure it out when they're coming through traffic.
Lane, let's talk about your attitude going into the weekend. Are you calm and cool? Are you on edge? Is it something you figure you got this in the bag, or are you worried about it?
With Pete and Trevor up there, I'm not really worried about it, but the boys that work on the car, Kenny, Brad, Randy, and Chuck, they've done a great job to give me a good Best Force Products Ford all year round. So pretty confident with my team, pretty confident that with a little bit of luck, we can get it done again. And last year I got pretty lucky with what happened with Oliver trying to come through the field and leading a lot of laps. All those bonus points really helped. So like you guys said, man, there's like 8 guys mathematically who could win, and it's going to be a big one. I do love racing at Delaware. The atmosphere there is just unreal. Oshwegan and Delaware, for some reason, maybe it's a Friday night, I don't know what it is, but you just love racing there.
So let's talk about that. This weekend last year was one of my favorite race weekends ever. And I'm not blowing smoke. I just enjoyed it so much, the atmosphere. And I think this year it's going to be double that, because people experienced it last year. They told their friends, Lane. I really think this year's going to be even cooler. What is it? What makes it so cool? Those 3 days of racing plus the concert on the Thursday.
Well, the concert definitely does a lot. And, we're getting to a thick and thin end of the season. Everybody just loves being at the racetrack. Everybody loves being around each other. And like I said, Delaware gives you that atmosphere. G-Force helps us every time we're doing a quick series race with APC. So thank you guys for that, like kind of pumping us up. And, it feels really cool to look back and show all of our friends and all of our sponsors all your coverage, which you guys do an amazing job at. I don't know, man. It's APC Championship weekend. I don't know what's much cooler than that in Ontario right now. And doing it at Delaware with the band there on Thursday night, and Delaware giving us our own night on Friday, so we don't have to share it with the APC. That's going to be kind of cool too. We get to do out-of-car introductions, and
big time.
Maybe it's the beer garden at Delaware. Delaware's got the best beer garden, so you can catch me up there on Sunday.
No matter what happens, Lane will be up there. Lane, with all that going on, is that a distraction or does it get you more into the event? How's it all, if you guys just want to concentrate and some of the guys want to go to the concert, how's that work into the schedule?
I don't know. We start pretty late on Friday, and I think I need an hour of sleep for every 100 laps I do, Bubba Pollard once said. So it doesn't play too much of a role into it, and it doesn't put any pressure. Realistically, I think if you can't perform under pressure, you shouldn't be doing that job. I mean, there's always going to be pressure around you. If you start fading into pressure, it should build you. It should get you pumped up. So I love it when the pressure's on and it's go time and everybody's watching and you get that nervous feeling in your stomach. That's what we live for. I mean, we're race car drivers. So bring on the pressure, bring on the TV, and let's have a good time. Hopefully the fans come out and enjoy themselves. And Luke Ramsey's doing a really good job of promoting the track and bringing that concert in. And hopefully we have a few more fans as well.
And what should do, Clint? They should get like Lane, Garrett. They should get all the players that are there Thursday night, get them up stage and get them talking at each other. These guys are ready for prime time. In fact, in some ways, more so than the APC teams, because a lot of it in the APC teams, they're so professional, they're so regimented. Yet these super stocks, they're caged animals, man. They're ready to shine.
Yeah, I think you can.
Sorry, Lane, that wasn't really a question, just an observation. But I can't wait to see it. Like, I just think you guys have done such to take advantage, to make stuff what Luke put together and his team to make this super stock series without Lane Zardo, Garrett Timirisma. Let's just stick with those two, because I think that was the main rivalry we looked at. There's a whole bunch more that are phenomenal. Trevor Call take nothing than Pete Vanderwees, but the two just made the hype that much bigger, and has really been a big draw for the series. So congratulations to you for doing that, and thank you for doing that, because just really.
Broke up there a bit. Lane, let me ask you the same question we asked Garrett. Why should the fans come out this weekend to Delaware Speedway?
Well, the concert on Thursday, championship race on Friday, beer gardens. Like I said, it's the grandstands on the hill adds such a cool atmosphere. It's going to be a really big event, and if you could get a few of us shit talking to each other up there on Thursday night for a concert, I'm sure we got a few good chirps for each other. But you guys give us this platform. You guys are always praising me and Garrett does a really good job with his vlogs. But you guys give us the platform to do it. You guys kind of mold us into looking bigger than we are. That's why I got mustache back. Last year I didn't hit the wall once. I hit the wall twice in 2 weeks. So as soon as I got home from Flamborough after hitting the wall, she got shaved in. So hopefully that gives us a little bit of luck, and hopefully we can meet a lot of fans at the racetrack. And it's a really good time. If you've never been to a racetrack, it's something different. It's a cool first date. And if you have never been to a racetrack, come into the pits. Come have a beer with us. Come sit in our car. We're always pretty friendly, and we love bringing new people into the sport.
It's kind of a lost
there you
art,
have it, folks.
Right? We all grew up on that. The pits were packed when we were kids. I mean, that's one of the biggest things we tried to recreate at Osh Weekend during the dirt race, was to get all the fans over there with the screen and the stage, and try and make it a bit of a pit walk, if you will.
You guys did an unreal job at Osh Weekend. Sorry to cut you guys off, but when everybody was kind of when everybody thought you guys were taking a break for the 2 years, that place is gorgeous.
Yeah, we're super happy. I mean, we still have new plans. I don't want to say this to take away from you, but since we're on topic, Greg went to pick up his mouse there yesterday, or was it today? Adam told me the roof is leaking so bad in the tower that our entire desks are covered in water, and that is so good because that's the next thing, Lane, that we're angling for is a brand new tower. So I'm like, I'm calling Kyle from construction over there tomorrow. We're gonna traipse through the puddles and get this new tower on the go. So we'll see what happens. But Lane, what's your goal for the long term here? You know, obviously you got to complete this season, but where do you see yourself in maybe 23 or 24 if the budget's right? Where do you want to be?
I'm having such a great time piloting this Leslie Ford. Brian McDonald does a great job with the setup. Saunders does a great job with the engine. We got a lot of good sponsors on board like Badger Daylight and Shelby Roofing, Shook's Mechanical, and it's fun racing for people that ran that car like Kenny Grubb and Andy Schmidt, who's still a big part of that program. So I'm going to ride that train as long as I can. And with my brother's program, I haven't been able to run our late models a lot. And my brother also took a bit of a backseat for my grandfather. So we're really trying to lay down a plan for next year to get my, that shop's right around the corner from my house. So I take a lot of pride when those cars do good. So I'm going to try to get my brother into a lot more pro late model races. We have MC Mechanical stepping on board big time with that. KRM Medweld, too many people for me to think of right now. Unfortunately, I should have a list right here. So I'm going to ride that train as long as I can with the super stock. I love driving these heavy cars. And I'd like to try that race at Holland for Scott Wiley and Jake Wiley's father. That'd be cool. And, I think we'd be pretty competitive with our car. Other than that, just kind of taking what. Yeah, and I've heard lots of cool things. And the last 2 or 3 years, I've had a lot of people contact me for driving their cars. So anytime I get to drive anything from a lawnmower to hopefully maybe one day a super late model, like that's the coolest feeling in the world is somebody asking you to drive their car. So I'm just taking whatever I can get. I got some good momentum, whether I end up crashing and burning on Friday or whether I end up taking the championship. I'm having the time of my life and just kind of looking forward.
It's a good note to end on, Lane. Well said. We'll be watching Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you at Delaware.
Thank you, boys, very much. Hopefully I see you on the weekend.
You know you will. Have a good night, Lane. Well,
so we've had some. Yeah, sorry, Clint. I wanted to stop you just because we've had some interesting comments come in, and I want to focus on this one. I don't want to focus on me being the love child of John Belushi and Chris Farley. Alvar's saying the crate engine rule has ruined the super stocks in the late model classes. I'm not going to dispute that, even though I disagree with it. But Alvars, can you agree that it's done amazing things for dirt sportsmen and crate sprint cars? And Hunt the Front's a pretty cool reality show, YouTube show. Those guys have done well for themselves. So search it up if you like that sort of thing. Check them out. What are your thoughts, Clint? Crate engines.
I mean, you know where we're at. Okay, let me just put it to you this way. Same thing we say about streaming. All of the divisions that are using streaming right now are booming. So, we can talk about the economics of streaming for the millionth time if we have to, but look at Action Sprint Tour, Knights of Thunder, APC Series, Quick Superstocks, Oshweekon home on Fridays, Delaware home on Rogers on Fridays. Easily the 6 best attended, best fan count, best car count, best viewership, best return on investment, best return for sponsor, impressions than anything else in the province. What's the common denominator? All streaming. What's the common denominator of most of those classes right there as well? The crate motor. Big in the late models, big in the quick super stocks, big in the crate sprints. The only one there it's not servicing is the 360 sprints. But it is servicing it because look at the growth factor into the 360s from the crate division. Yeah. So to say we're not breeding new crate drivers is nuts. And
I think for my money, what has transpired on asphalt, Alvars, in my opinion, is they're too good. There was just too much grip for the horsepower they have. Too many people doing too good. get rid of some of that grip. I don't think the engine is the culprit, but I think you have to find some sort of limiting factor. Put them on skinnier tires. Get them less grip. Get them having to work harder. Get them so the tires are wearing out hard, sliding around, and get them racing. But I don't have the answers. That's just thoughts that have been in my head. But thanks for the comment. Let's get
bring
JR
Jared
on. He's
Fitzpatrick.
going for a walk.
I'm trying to get some signal, probably. We got you now, JR. That's a good question for you to lead off with, JR. The question was, or the comment was, crate motors are ruining racing. What's your comment or rebuttal to that?
Can you guys hear me okay right here?
We got you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. That's a tough one because obviously I grew up racing late models and I first started CASCAR and all that with built engines, and they're pretty awesome. But I'm the red tag bone stock crate engine package that we're running this year, man. I would never do anything else because the cost to rebuild these, never mind a built engine to build, is quite a bit different. So I myself, just from the experience over the years, I'm pretty happy with just the bone stock red tag crate engine, and obviously it comes down to tech. I mean, our tech does a phenomenal job, and I know the crate sprints do a good job of making sure that things are checked regularly, and I think it makes the racing better because you don't want to go back to built motors because you'll really see who's got knowledge and the funding behind them to get a serious power plant under the hood of their cars.
And that makes sense. JR, do you have a big enough points lead going into this weekend that we don't have to watch you points race again?
Is it ever enough? I mean, I've heard there's 36 cars coming to the track on Saturday. 32 are going to start, and I only have a 20-point lead. So how that works out with Kyle, anyway, I believe it would have to be 18th or better. If he wins, leads the most laps, and then I believe with Rick Walt, because he's 5 behind Kyle, he'd have to be 23rd. So it's never over. We're just making sure everything's tight, checked, gone through, and that's really all we can do, man. I mean, we got the speed. We tested last night, and we were great. Kyle was there as well. We were all pretty fast. Now it just comes down to finish the race. Don't do another Sobble.
JR, for those of you who follow you on social media, your maintenance is probably overboard meticulous. I mean, you pull that car down to bare nuts and rebuild the whole thing between every race. It's no doubt your car runs as well as it does because there's got to be guys in that field who are putting it back in the box, washing it, and filling it and checking the oil, right? And just talk a bit about the regime you guys go through from a championship perspective to ensure that you're getting the finishes you are.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been born and raised that way. Obviously, growing up in my early years of racing with Don Thompson, meticulous. He's a bit of a hard ass about stuff, and just little things when I was younger I never appreciated when he always stuck me on the jobs of cleaning the car. But later, cleaning the car is you find cracks, you find leaks, you find maybe a rivet that popped out or anything like that. So I try to go through everything the best I can. It's definitely hard. We don't have a whole lot of time, so a lot of it's done at night, but we definitely, we always check our brakes. We do our hubs every week, all the oils every week, because you just never know if you're losing a ring gear or you're losing a transmission. And that's why I don't ever do burnouts or anything like that, because it's just brought up that way. It just wrecks more stuff. So yeah, just trying to make sure all our stuff's looked after here. And am I being a little overcautious on certain things? Maybe. But I just want this deal so bad, man. I mean, 2018, I think a lot of people thought that was a luck deal with some of the penalties that were given out. So the way this season's gone, I mean, this 84 car has just been stout everywhere it's gone. And the team's been really working well. And the new relationship with McCall Enterprises, I mean, I can't believe I ever stepped out of a McCall chassis. I know there's some people who seem to think that this car is a rental, but it's not. I mean, it's in there and we work on it ourselves, and I get tons of assistance from them on setup, which is awesome. It's like taking weight off your shoulders, but man, the McCall stuff just turns. It's unreal how good these cars are.
JR, does anyone feel that you've wronged them this year to the point that you have to worry about anything at Delaware Speedway? Like, do you have a bullseye on your back with anyone in particular, or can you just there and race your race?
I mean, I don't know. Depends who you want to ask, I guess, right? I mean, obviously
that's why I asked you.
I mean, I think there's probably at least one guy that's still not over it. The other guy just doesn't ever want to talk to me. And I mean, there's a couple other guys. I just moved them out of the way. They're probably a little upset about it too, but I really don't see anybody wanting to risk a championship run for that or their participation in the later years of the APC tour, because for one, APC won't put up with that. And two, it's just the outcome wouldn't be good. So I just don't see anybody wanting to do something silly like that.
And I'm not trying to create drama. Just to ask the question, like you go through a year of racing and people get upset. I just wanted to see what the mindset was like, but not stir up any old BS.
Yeah, you know me. I'm just gonna keep my head down and walk around and keep that grumpy look on my face until the day's over.
Jared, let's talk about you just said you want this deal so bad. That was my question before you even said that. You know, you've been up and down the racing ranks over the years. You've been a NASCAR guy. You've been up and down. Why the APC? Why does it mean so much? Why is it something you're so hungry for here?
I think a lot of it is because just, you know, a lot of people don't know my real story. And a short end of it, like 2014, after 20 some odd years of my dad owning a CAS car / NASCAR Pinty's team, just decided that it was, you know, our run was over. It wasn't fun for us anymore. The cost was high, and I was starting a family. So I think this means so much to me because just the struggle, and nobody will ever believe it, but the real struggle that even Laura and I had of trying to build a super late model then to go race, because at that point, I believe APC was just starting. And it was too late for me anyway, but I always wanted a super late model. So and her family was heavily involved. So I built a super late model, pretty much go broke building that, finished second, and then won the points, and then was out of money. And then I got a ride with Marvin Freiberger. Didn't finish the year out because it was a rough adventure. And then that super late model was in the barn, and we ended up stripping it and taking the junior handling. And he helped make me convert it into an APC car. And sure enough, we won the championship with it. And then for whatever reason, I just wanted to try something other than a McCall car. So struggle, man. The struggle has been real from 19, 20, 21. So to finally get back in a McCall car, I really feel like, you know, we put it all together, and it means so much to me to win championships because, you know, like growing up with Thompson, he won 7 in a row. And you don't realize how tough 7 in a row is until you start doing these. I mean, we've only run 4, including this year, 4 full-time APC seasons, and we're potentially aiming to try and win our second championship. So it's just awesome. And you know, I love racing. I just want to win championships and win races, and I just love good, hard racing.
Jared, we asked Garrett and Lane the same question to help us sell some tickets here. Why should the fans be coming to Delaware this weekend and spending their hard-earned money to watch the product there that's going to happen Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Well, Friday night's going to be an awesome show because I believe you got the bone stocks there, which the points battle is really tight there. And I swear they got 50 cars or something there every time I've gone to watch. So that's exciting. The super stock race, I believe there's 4 of them that are within a handful of points. So that's going to be intense. I'll be there watching that for sure. But obviously for the APC Tour race with the late models on Saturday and the Oscar Modifieds, the Tour race, you're going to have 36 cars coming and starting 32. And I guarantee you that the top 18 to 20 will be just under 2 tenths apart. And that's impressive. So if you're a diehard race fan, you can really respect that. The Pinty series on Sunday, I heard it's going to be a great car count for them, probably the biggest they've had in years. So that'll be great. And then obviously the concert on Thursday. So it's just for asphalt racing, it's becoming a really big weekend like it used to. I remember going to Delaware Speedway on these, then it was on Labor Day weekend, but it was the Great Canadian 300 weekend, and it was much like this, a big vibe, lots of people, the camping sold out. It's just a bunch of diehard racers that are there to enjoy the show.
Absolutely. Well said, man. Look forward to seeing you race this weekend, and maybe we can get you up in the booth on Friday night, do some talking with us.
Yeah, there you go. Sounds good. And obviously, thanks again for everything you guys do. And Clinton, forgive me now if I'm a little pouty on Saturday.
I don't mean to bust your ass. Hey, you have your game face on. I gotta tell you, my boy Jack, he's 15-year-old. He's our mobile camera guy. He's super pumped because Ryan's not there, our regular camera guy. Jack's B-roll, and I don't know if you know, but at Peterborough, I don't let them give you guys Gatorade anymore. Okay, so you're only getting water through the window. And I actually heard one of the safety guys say, "Give him water. Clint doesn't like it." Well, we end up wearing it, right? So throw all the water on us. And at Peterborough, you got me and Jack point blank right in the face. It was a cool night. It was a hot night, so he felt good. And he looks at me and goes, "JR threw water right in my face. It was awesome." And I'm like, "Okay, bud." But yeah, we don't mind wearing the water, but the Gatorade or the champagne you can keep to yourself. But no, man, it's been good. And this is where we, even as announcers, we get to understand your personalities. We get to become friends. It's been a great deal. This whole thing for us has been super rewarding as well, and we're just happy to do it. As we mentioned, we will have video screen at the Speedway this week, so you see lots of live replays and in-depth coverage and drone shots and infield mobile coverage of the accidents and stuff. So it's going to be really cool. Jared, we'll let you go. Get back in the shop. We know you got a car to put together, and we'll see you this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks again, guys. See you soon.
Cheers.
Jared Fitzpatrick going for the APC Championship this weekend at Delaware Speedway on Saturday. And, man, we need to blow out that booth, Adam, and figure out how we can get him in there because having him in and maybe the quick champion in on Saturday would be awesome addition to what we have going on. Let's talk a bit about an event that's really dear to our heart that we don't get to go to anymore. Brighton Apple Fest is this weekend, Adam. It's a big deal for the Rinaldis and a lot of the Ontario modified sportsman teams and the hometowners from the east that come down to Brighton. Always sells out, always has an amazing car count. And, with us in our new contract with the APC series and Fast Eddie and Quick, we can't be at the event anymore. But we're wishing we were.
If you love asphalt racing, be at Delaware Speedway this weekend. In fact, if you can't do the whole weekend, people can necessarily to go to 3 nights of racing. Pick one, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Go to Delaware, check it out. You're going to love it. If you love dirt racing, go the other way. Go to Brighton Speedway. You won't be disappointed. Again, if you can't afford to go to a whole weekend, pick Friday, pick Saturday. The shows, you won't be disappointed. This is the biggest race weekend of the year for short track fans in Ontario. It's unfortunate we can't be in 2 places at once, but those are 2 marquee events.
Yeah, if you want to see how great the racing was at Brighton, just go back and check out our events there. We were there 2 nights, September 3rd and 4th, and the action was amazing. The track was so awesome. Just a great place to be. Everybody there is super kind, and you won't be disappointed if you go down to Brighton too. So we won't be able to get down there, but we would certainly like to be. Just on that note, we've stolen Greg Callanan away from the Rinaldis too, so we're super pumped. That'll be Jamie, yourself, and Greg and myself down there doing the coverage this weekend from Delaware. We'll be there all 3 days. You and I will be with the crew live Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday we'll be jumping over to the Flow Racing and TSN Go for the NASCAR stream. You and Greg will call that, and I'll be on pit road for TSN. So exciting weekend for us. One of my favorite busy weekends of the year. And, of course, I'm going to do my best to get as much in as we can, and it's going to be super exciting.
It'll be a blast. Albers, no plans to do autumn colors up at Peterborough. Not a race that's on our schedule. Great event. You got to see it in person. G-Force Light are we sending someone to Brighton to do a G-Force Light?
We'll talk about it. We would like to, for sure.
It's tough to find bodies this year, but that was a great hour.
Yeah, I love when we pack it full of guests. Good deal, buddy. You get some rest. We have a busy week. We're going to be moving out Thursday and coming back Monday on our end, so it's going to be a long weekend. Super pumped. You know where to find us, live on G-Force TV, 7:30 Friday. I believe it's 5:15-ish on Saturday, and Sunday the race is around 3:30, 4 o'clock, I think, is the NASCAR race. Something like that, Adam. Do you know?
Yeah, I think it was late afternoon. We'll
All right.
we'll pump it up on GeForce. Come check us out on GeForce, and we'll have the time for Sunday. But thanks for tuning in, guys. We apologize for last week. There's just some weeks things go wrong. Kieran, how soon is your surgery? Do we need to wish you luck on your now, or do we have some more time? I can't remember. But either way, we wish you good luck because it is coming up.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Spencer, for all you do. We'll see you this weekend.